Hello, my name is April, and today I'm going to be giving my speech on the fashion industry. Here is my audience. Alright, and here is my speech outline. So, have you ever worn a piece of clothing with the intention of attempting to make a point about something? So, fashion has always been a way in which people can express themselves and also use it with other intentions rather than just using it for its looks. Today, I will be discussing how fashion is one of the most effective methods to represent oneself and how it can be utilized to not only represent who you are, but also what you believe in. So it's important to be able to identify when fashion is not only being used to look professional or to look good, but also as a way to represent how one is standing up for their beliefs and also standing up for themselves. It's important because a lot of the times you can see the effort behind um, these fashion choices. And personally, I have been able to incorporate cultural attire to my wardrobe for to support where I come from and where my parents are from as well. And exploring yourself through fashion is a really good way of self expression and gives you a good sense of self direction. So, first in this speech, I will be discussing the reason why fashion is so important in beauty pageants, and then also I will be speaking of few of the many ways in which it could represent what you stand for in politics, and then lastly, I will be discussing how culture can be shown through fashion. So, why is fashion so important in beauty pageants, and how is it a form of self expression? In beauty pageants, passion is really important because it displays a contestant's personality and their sense of style and their individuality, because they are able to not only just show what they stand for but also their cultural background, and this can be shown through evening gowns or just their national attire. A national costume. The idea is to spread the message to their audience while also still focusing on the message being understood itself. Additionally, candidates can also use fashion to as an effective tool to express their beliefs, and also it shows how well prepared and how sophisticated they are in representing and using their platform as a way to advocate for what they want to put to light, what issues they want to put to light for their audience. It's a way for contestants to share their distinctive narrative and their viewpoints with the judges and also the viewers, which is their audience. So, next, the importance of fashion in politics. Fashion is a powerful nonverbal communication technique that can reveal information about a politician's associations, their identity, and their principles. So, the public's image of a politician can be influenced a lot by their choice of clothing, which is why it's so important for politicians to carefully choose what they want to wear, because it can represent if they have support for particular groups, or it can also just set them aside from their own rivals. And then additionally, they can create like a sort of image of professionalism that can win over the public's trust and support. A quote by Sarah Ben from her article um, that I would like to state is that fashion is not without substance. It's not only about enjoyment. It governs the everyday world of appearance, and its influence is without bounds, whether it be used for good or for bad. And a politician's image can be softened and hardened through their clothing. It can it can make them seem more personable or powerful as well, which is very important because um, it's can really it's because fashion is more than just a visual appeal. It's a very strategic tactic that affects the public's perception of the politician and can also influence political results. So, finally, how is culture represented through fashion? Fashion has visually embodied a society's ideals, beliefs, and artistic expressions, which makes it a powerful form of cultural representation. Traditional clothing frequently is is a reflection of the craftsmanship and legacy of that community, and it incorporates a lot of historical motives and techniques. Um, so, for example, certain colors, fabrics, patterns is a way to it kind of represent, and it's basically a form of symbolic significance for that culture, because a lot of different patterns, colors can represent a lot of different stories that have a lot of history through them. And a quote from Molly Bell from her article that I would like to point out again is that fashion not only tells others what culture an individual identifies and resides with, but also as a signifier of power and respecting the meaning and tradition behind those fashion elements. So, on top of everything, fashion has the ability in cultures to improve on old aspects for future generations. So, a lot of the time, some cultures can have, you can see the evolution of clothing through history, and that has lots of meaning and history behind it, and a lot of the times that those clothings are still used now, and it's a way to promote a sense of pride and belonging. And then accessories and decorations of cultural importance are also included as a representation um, that is basically just more than just clothing. It's really just a sense of pride, and it can really connect someone with their roots. So today I was able to discuss the a few of the many ways why fashion is such an important method, if not the most important method, of self-expression. I feel as though you can do so much more to express yourself, and clothing is just the root of it all, basically. And fashion can become an actual representation of your identity and beliefs, and how people decide to use it is what makes it so impactful. Thank you.